you talk a lot about Kyle Shanahan and how his questionable play calling, kind of contributes to the 49ers not being able to win games. Something that I think really Kyle doesn't do a very good job of as well is taking good care of the morale in the locker room and also building up players. Okay. So for instance, he has that doghouse, okay, where that very, very famous doghouse, right? And I was struck by the NFC title game, watching Andy Reid coach because of Mecole Hardman. Okay.
This is great. This is
right?
Go for it. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
So Mecole Hardman fumbled and gave up that touchdown, and the Chiefs went down 9-0 very early in that NFC title game. But then later on in the game, Andy Reid went back to Mecole Hardman with the called screen pass for a touchdown, and then also that called reverse that he ran for a big
pretty
game.
Quickly.
Yeah,
he went back to him like right away.
Yep. Exactly. So I guess my question is, what do you think it is about Kyle that makes him think that a doghouse is actually a good thing, especially seeing like what Andy Reid can do with players who make early mistakes, and he goes back to them because he trusts them?
Well, first of all, before I answer the question, I also remember Andy Reid doing this, I want to say in like 2017 with Kareem Hunt. He was a rookie. It was his first game as a pro. I think he fumbled on his first touch. He had never fumbled in college, and they went back to him. He went for like 150 in that game and is a great player. So Reid has done this before. He's an excellent head coach. Yeah. I believe Shanahan got this from his dad. I think his dad was the same way. I think Kyle and Mike are little emperors. They got a little Napoleon complex. Mike especially, because he's like 5'4". Kyle's like 6'3", so I don't know where it comes from, but they're very like imperious. They're kind of like little dictators. And if you're in, you're in, no matter what. But if you're out, there's no coming back. And Andy Reid's different. Robert Saleh's different. They have this like positivity. It's like, no, I believe in you, so you believe in you. I'm Andy Reid. If you stunk, I'd tell you, man. I would tell you. But no, I need you. We need you. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. And that's so it's so beneficial for a young person who's 23, 24 to have someone with that much experience, wisdom, knowledge to come over and say, no, you're fine. You're fine. We need you. It makes all the difference, wouldn't you say?
I think it makes a huge, if he did those two things, if he could learn how to coach players better, like while they're playing poorly, and then combine that with his great scheming and then call plays not properly, but call more runs when he needs to call runs, he would probably have won a whole lot more Super Bowls. And now looking at the way that over the last 3 years, the Niners have handled a lot of their personnel decisions with, they lost Staley, trading Buckner, who was a big locker room guy, and keeping Eric Armstead, who does wonderful work in the community, but who isn't very inspiring. At least I don't feel he is very, very inspiring.
In the locker room, no.
And then at the same time now with what he's doing, it appears to me that guys like Kittle really do like Jimmy G. And they're kind of, I do think they're going to get rid of Jimmy G. Okay. I worry about what's going to happen like after they get rid of Jimmy G. Not because Stafford wouldn't be an upgrade or not whomever, but like Stafford, Watson, the people we're talking about, they would absolutely be an upgrade over Jimmy G. But I worry that it's just going to show the locker room that like more bad coaching elements. That why would they even want to play for this team? And that's as smart as Kyle is as a schemer. I worry about him losing the locker room through these sorts of things. And when I see Reid do things like that so well, it just frustrates me.
Yeah. Well, I think that what we're seeing with Reid is he's better for young players. He's really good at developing young players because he's so positive. It's like he has faith. I see it. I believe it. Even if it hasn't manifested itself yet, it will, because I say it will. Kyle and his dad aren't like that. And that's why they really haven't developed young players, young quarterbacks. They're very demanding. Yeah. They're very demanding, and they can be very negative. And you know what? A veteran quarterback like Steve Young, John Elway, Matt Ryan can rise to the occasion. But a 23-year-old guy who's just getting his feet wet in the NFL, it could crush him. Yeah. You kind of need to hold his hand a little bit. And they don't do that. They're not into it for that. You know what I'm saying? So I think there is something to that. Absolutely.
All righty, man. Well, look, I'm sure you got a whole lot of calls to go to, but hey, thanks for the daily content, by the way. I don't always agree with you, by the way. I don't always agree with you, but I tell you, man, like the daily content of the brains that you bring on, good stuff. So thanks for doing that, and keep up the good work, man.